About perpendicular parking, we are in Bird's parking lot. Okay, so when you're driving in a parking lot, it is illegal to drive across the parking lot. All right, when you are driving down between the two sides of parking, this roadway, once Miss Lambert turns, this roadway, you treat it like it is a road, so you stay on your side of the road. This is great. It's got a little seam in the middle that helps you do that. So I personally, and it's just a personal preference, I think parking on the left is easier than parking on the right.
Me too.
So you're going to pick a space.
Can you pick a space?
Yeah, you want to talk it through, Miss Lambert?
Okay, sure. So when I teach the kids parking, I tell my kids, you might do it differently.
Well, everybody does different stuff.
Obviously you want to be as far to the right as you can without hitting the cars that are parked. And then what I tell my kids to do is line up my mirror with the first...
Me too.
You do?
Yep, exactly.
All right. Because your mirrors are good reference points when you're driving. So I teach them to line the mirror up with the first line that they want to park into. So the parking spot, mirror, it's side by side. Or you could even think of it as like it's touching, that type of thing, like if you look at it right. And then I'm going to, then you tell them, let me do it as I'm talking.
Yeah, you can do it as you're talking.
Okay. So then I tell them to turn the wheel to the left, about pretty hard, hard as you can. All right. You're covering the brake and touching the brake. And as slowly as when you approach it, then you're turning your wheel back to the right to straighten it out. All right. Then I tell them to put it in park and check out your lines. And you should be, I don't know, a foot away from each side.
Yeah, centered in the space.
Yeah. You can also tell that you're pretty straight sometimes if you look at your lines that are in front of you. This parking lot is pretty good because all the lines seem to match up as well.
Yeah, it's not skewed. Okay, then when we get out of the space.
Oh, there's another good thing. When you back up to get out of the space, the one thing that you want to do first after you put it in reverse is you want to know if your front tires are straight. So when I ask that question a lot, they'll say, I'm like, how do you know if your car's straight? How do you know if your front tire's straight? Well, Ms. Lambert, my wheel's straight. Okay. Well, just because your wheel is straight, it doesn't mean that your tires are straight. So what you want to do is just let up off the brake a little bit. All right. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to see where my back end goes. All right. So I'm letting it go off. You can't really tell, but it's going straight. Okay. But if my wheels weren't straight in the front, even though my steering wheel looks straight, and then I let it go a little bit, all right, it's heading to my right side. All right, the back end is heading to my right side. So I want to turn it back once in the direction that I want to go to, or make it straight. Okay, so I know that my tires are straight now. So another thing that I tell my kids, and you might be different, I don't know, but I tell my kids to use your mirrors again, all right? And then there's cars next to you. Well, most of the time there's cars next to you. And you want to get to the back bumper with your mirrors before you start turning. That's how I teach mine. I don't know.
I just use 3/4 of the way out.
Okay. And if there's not, then you're almost out of the parking lot, or out of your parking spot. So I do that because if you don't,
flip the car.
Yeah, if you start turning like in the spot that I am right now, I'm going to hit my Porsche or I'm going to hit my Lamborghini, and then my insurance goes up. So I'm going to go heading this way. You want me to go this way?
Yeah. Then we'll pull into the space on the right, and I think the right's harder.
It is. And then also, when you're backing up, you want to look in the direction that you are going. All right? So if I'm backing up, I'm not looking straight. Okay? Because you want to know what's behind you as well. All right? And, you don't want to hit the cars behind you.
Yes, and I had a student years ago at Manchester. I was driving in the morning, and he started backing up, and I checked there's only one car in the entire parking lot. And he let it roll back without looking back, and he hit the car.
Did he really?
Yes. And I'm like, seriously? There's one car in this entire space.
So that usually happens. It's like Murphy's Law. Let me teach him on the right.
All right, so now we're going to park on the right. And look, if I'm looking at this like it's a roadway, then that would put me awful close to the space I'm going to park in. All right? So when you pick you a space, It's okay if nobody's coming to stay wide.
Right.
Right.
I tell my kids to get into the left lane. Like if you're at Walmart there and the cars are coming, you can't be in the left lane. Right, on the left side of the road. Clearly, you don't want to hit the cars over here. But if I was to park on the right side, and I'm over in the right side, I'm going to clip my Lamborghini. Like it just the angle of the car just doesn't work over there.
Can't turn it.
So what I tell my kids again, if you're signaling, always signal in the direction that you want to go. I get over into the left lane. I personally get over in the left lane. All right, and then again, my mirror is going to
This mirror.
the right mirror is going to line up with the line that I'm going to park into. All right, and then sometimes you can have to swoop out. It depends on how you go. But then again, I'm going to park in this little parking spot right here. I'm going to turn. I'm going to probably just hit that car, didn't I? Nah.
No, I think you made it.
I think I made it. And then come through. Do y'all teach that differently?
No, I teach it that way too.
Okay.
I use the mirrors, and I will say this about parking. Practice without cars. Pulling in and using the line as your reference with the mirrors. And then maybe practice with a trash can. And then practice with cars. Because if you hit somebody's car, it's not like making a mistake in school. You can't erase it. So practice before you decide that I'm going to go to Commonwealth 20 and go to the movies, and I want to park right there, that one spot that's closed.
Right.
And I'm going to make it fit in there. Okay, also when you're parking, you don't want to be favoring one side or the other side, because now let's say I'm real close to the right edge. Then whoever's parked on that beside me on the right side over here, they can't get out of their door. So don't get so close that people can't get out of their door. Okay, you good?
Good.